Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. You're watching Lantic with Sandeep Das. And in this session today, we're going to start your MLOps learning journey. And I'll start with very basics that what are the ideas, knowledge, tools that you need to learn in order to excel in your MLOps learning journey, just like I did many years back with the DevOps. So it's similar kind of that. And what are the challenges you're going to face, real life challenges, not the real life challenges, the real life challenges, and how to solve them, how to work with the teams, how to work with the ML engineers, CTO, and all those things I will be discussing from the last 1 or 2 years that I have gained. So yes, that's let's get started with that. I know it's going to take, I think, 3-4 minutes probably for others to online get notified that I'm starting the session. So let's wait for that. And in between, do let me know from where you're joining because I love to know. And yeah, any question that you might have, please also let me know that. I know I'm starting after a long time. Last year's been more of work and less than social things, for good, because the more I work, the more knowledge I get. I'll be able to share with you guys. Okay, let me open the LinkedIn also because LinkedIn comments doesn't show up, so I have to rely on that part. Okay, let me see. And I'll be reading all the comments. I'll be checking all that, either LinkedIn or, for example, YouTube. Hi, Chirag. It's good evening. Yes, good evening to you as well. Hi, Saurav. Hi, Shova. So yeah, I think everybody joining now. So it's good to get started. And if anybody, for example, joining late, they can always check the recording. So it's fine. Okay. And this is just a start. From 15th of January, I'll be start uploading all the videos, small video. Maybe it's going to be around 10 to 15 minutes average, and this then onwards will go on. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, um, if you are new to this, if you have like for example never done the DevOps, okay, you're directly jumping into the MLOps, that will be not the right way. Okay, because while doing the MLOps, you'll be doing a lot of tasks that is related to DevOps. Okay, so if you're thinking, I'll just maybe a system admin or yeah, it's starting from the 15th Jan. Yeah, for Shobha, I think so. Was asking that. Yeah, it'll start from the 15th Jan. Okay, so uh, that is the thing. I mean, you might think that okay, I can just start from like direct MLOps. I will suggest don't do that. You will find difficulties. Okay, you see that even if you're starting again, you will be starting from the very beginning of all the basics of DevOps and then to the MLOps. So I would say if you're coming to MLOps, you should at least have the basic level understanding of DevOps, how the how the DevOps flow, like normal CI/CD, the deployment flow, all these basic things work. And I will come to that. Don't worry. And just give me a moment. And can we get the content? Yes, I'll share all the content that I'm going to share. So let me like without any further ado, let me share what we're going to cover. And I'm sharing this. I think I talked about this few months back, and I told okay, I'll be starting like this is the roadmap that I shared, and now this is the all the real content I'll be sharing one by one. So okay, I think better before going to all these complex the concepts and all these things, I should first give you a very overview of what you're going to cover, and then we'll go to deep dive exactly what are the topics we should be covering, all you'll be learning, and then what are the practical things that I'll be sharing, and all that will come. Okay, so let's just first say what are the things we'll be learning. Okay, so give me a moment. I'm doing it after a long time, so it's taking me some time. So be have patience with me. Okay, so first thing, what are the prerequisite? Okay, so give me a moment. So what will be the prerequisite? First prerequisite will be having the basic DevOps knowledge. I will say, okay, uh, you might think, okay, maybe some basic level of system knowledge. I will say is okay, but still, again, you have to do all this because I'll be covering that what you have to learn. The um, That I'll come. Okay, don't worry. Let me just first share that what you will be learning. So basic, I will say basic DevOps knowledge will be plus. But even if you are not, I'll make it such a way that you will be learning. Okay, so don't worry on that part. So DevOps will be plus. If you have it, you are in benefit. If you don't worry. I'll make it such a way that we'll love it. We'll learn all that. Okay. Now, what is the second thing? Because the MLOps engineer, okay, you'll be working with what? Data. It's all about data. I mean, last like 1 or 2 years I was working, I was like boom, overloaded with the data in S3 is trillions of records, billions of records. I still remember I had to process ELK stack. It's more than 10 billion of record data I have to process every single day. So what you'll be working on with the data. So you should know how to process data, and all that I'll be covering. How to handle billions of data, how to kind of now again, the training part will be done by the MLOps engineer, but how to run the script, how to do that, how to execute the script, those will be there. Okay, but having any knowledge with data will be a big plus. Okay, these are all prerequisite. Okay, prerequisite. Okay, I know this is no space, so I'll just do that way. So this will be all prerequisite, basic DevOps, data. Somebody might say that, Sandeep, do we need programming experience? I will say Python will be a big plus. Okay, a big plus will be Python. Okay, data will be plus Python will, because we'll be working with because it's not that we'll be just running simpler models, or like model training. You have to understand how to run it, how to efficiently run it, any way to minimize or optimize that. Okay, all these things as a MLOps engines will be doing. For example, you have a task to run PyTorch, or you might have a task to run as a part of CI/CD process, for example, or for example TensorFlow. I think TensorFlow deploy, you have to deploy. So all these things you have to do as a part of MLOps engineer. But if you say I can't, then you say you are not I mean, you can be a DevOps engineer, but you cannot be a MLOps engineer, because as a MLOps engineer, your as a MLOps engineer, what is exactly MLOps? Okay, that is also a very good thing to learn. So it is the connecting of, for example, ML plus ops, or say I will not say op exactly. Let's say is DevOps. So we are just working as a bridge. Okay, we are working as a bridge to that fill the gap of ML and DevOps, because as a part of this DevOps post, I mean, okay, what happened in the ML? ML do build the model. Okay, ML engineers to build the model. Then what they does? They keep optimizing it, right? Keep optimizing. They put more data, put data, and keep optimizing. Okay. Then what does this, like, as a MLOps engineer you should do? MLOps engineer, okay, they have to give the infra part. Like for example, give a Kubernetes cluster. For example, give, like, run the whatever this ML engineer need, or whatever we need to run as a form of application. We have, like, could be anywhere. Okay, maybe it's a model they've given. I have to run via Python or any other programming languages. Or for example, they have given the container. Have they have maybe pre-trained models somewhere? We have to execute them based on different requests. All we have to give them the infra and means to execute. Of course, there will be backend engineers who put the business logic, but we have to give the infra. So as a MLOps engineer, your tasks start with a lot of things. Start from the very source code itself, but that will come later. But think about infra in the as a whole. Infra include cloud infra include the environment that the developers work. Okay, infra also include the any on-prem thing. Okay, on-prem thing, whatever it is. Okay, and to give a more broader view, that it's that just your task doesn't end here. You also have to help. Okay, you also have to help the MLOps engineers to train the model. Okay, that is a very important thing, because as a MLOps, let's say ML engineer will keep changing, right? And there has to be a ML, or say ML pipeline, ML, you can say ML flow pipeline or ML pipeline, where it will, wherever they make the change, we have to have a CI/CD. Okay, that will keep train them. I mean, based on the code changes, it will execute the modeling and all that. So that will be as a MLOps engineer will do. And again, say it's not like people think MLOps maybe it's just maybe related to data training, or say CI/CD for the say ML model, or maybe deployment of the ML model. So it's actually not that. It's much broader. It's starting with the entire infra. It could include Kubernetes deployment. It could include maybe application deployment to non-Kubernetes cluster, as in maybe any cloud, for example, or maybe a virtual machine. You're deploying a particular application which can execute different model in a virtual environment. So all those things you have to do. Now the challenges comes where you, for example, a model, like a model you're running, you have to measure the performance, or maybe you're building a model, it's a part of CI/CD process, you're building the model, you're running some testing, all the measurements you have to also capture. All this comes as part of the MLOps engineer. It's not as simple as you think, but it is a bit complicated. Well, the thing is that if you keep doing the things, if you keep learning, for example, the beginning when you started DevOps, it was so tough at the beginning, like to understand all the tools, technologies, methodologies, that after maybe 3 4 years, if you are expecting that you are already have some experience in DevOps, it's become so easy, right? Now you're thinking that okay, MLOps engineer becoming a like MLOps is a very tough thing, but it's not that. If you just keep doing it, it will become easy, just like the normal DevOps engineer you have been for last few years. Okay, now with this basic understanding that we as a MLOps engineer will be bridging the, I mean, we'll be bridging the gap between the ML and the DevOps. So we'll be automating the model building, we'll be automatically measuring the performance of the ML models, we will be deploying the models, continuously deploying the models based on the code changes like a CI/CD. Normally what we do in the CI/CD, whenever the application code changes, we have a CI/CD pipeline which basically build the code, then test it. Then if any problem is notified, if no problem, it will move to the next phase. If it's manual approval, it is manual approval, or if it's automatic approval, then it directly based on the approval. Could be manual, could be automatic, but after the approval, the code changes get deployed to the either maybe pre-pod or production based on your configuration, right? So exact same thing happens here. Okay, the model get built, the model get tested, the model get measured, the model performance measuring happening, somebody may approve, or maybe it's automatic deployment, then in production or maybe pre-production or staging based on your all configuration, it get deployed. Okay, now that is the very basic of it, and let me go a bit more depth. Okay, so if you remember, I don't know if you guys remember or not, I had shared a roadmap. Okay, this roadmap looks like multiple, what are the things that you need to learn in order to become a MLOps engineer. And I'll just give a very quick review. And from 15th of January, the video on different topics will start rolling. Okay, so what we'll be covering on those videos? Okay, so very for the MLOps in to become an MLOps engineer, you need to have. I think you guys should be already seeing in the screen what are the concept that you must learn. Okay, for example, now again you might think Sandeep, we don't want to become a ML engineer. We just want to become MLOps engineer. Then do we have to learn all these things? Like the word is said ML, right? It's not just DevOps. I mean, if you just want to work with application, then feel free to do so as a normal DevOps engineer. But when you're coming as a MLOps engineer, they're expecting you to have the ML knowledge, a machine learning knowledge. Like not exactly at par as the ML engineer, because then your pay will be according to ML engineer. But if you are getting paid as a DevOps engineer, position as a DevOps engineer, and then you're coming as a MLOps engineer, or maybe you're already an MLOps engineer, then they expect you to have some form of knowledge, at least this kind of basics. Otherwise, you're not an MLOps engineer. It could be something else, maybe a normal DevOps engineer. So, and see, you will be not building models from scratch. You will be using the models that is built by, or the different scripts or say methodologies that is already developed by the ML engineers. Okay, but you need to have the idea. For example, how what is the what is the ML concept wise? What is the supervised learning? What is the unsupervised learning? Reinforced learning? All these things you have to understand, because you might be tasked to do all this kind of training via the CICD or maybe as a normal batch process. Okay, so you have to do that. Okay, then what are the ML algorithms? You need to know. Again, you need to know. I will say it will be much more beneficial if you know how to execute. And in my training, as I move forward, I'll be showing how to train and all that. So don't worry. But as a precaution, I will say if you can, if you have any prior idea, it's good. If not, that's okay. But while I show all these demos, please follow all those demos one by one. Okay, what is the like for example ML algorithm? What is regression, classification, clustering, demonstrated reaction and reduction, and there will be a few more. Okay, as we move forward, I'll keep doing the videos. And as a ML workflow, there will be data collection and preparation, model selection and training, evaluation, deployment, and like this is the normal workflow. For example, CI/CD workflow. What happened? It's a DevOps that you deploy the application. Here, the data collection, the model selection, training, the evolution, deployment, and monitoring and maintenance is a part of the process, right? So that will happen. Now, what will be the next? This is the very basic foundations things. Okay, what will be the next thing? The next thing will be the tools and platform. Okay, so if you see the tools and platform is kind of same. Okay, for example, in version control, I mean be it the MLOps engineer or any other application programmer, they'll be committing all their codes in Git, right? So based on their commits, as a MLOps engineer, we have to trigger the workflow or say CI/CD pipeline. Maybe it's a MLOps flow pipeline. Okay, and what kind of CI/CD tools you should be using? Again, the if you see the tools, it's all kind of same, isn't it? I mean, for normal application also we have been using Jenkins or GitHub Action, GitLab CI, and for ML applications model training also when they kind of code get pushed, we'll be using the exact same kind of tools. Okay, but the command, the environment where we kind of execute or train our the ML models, that will be different. For example, for application binary build or maybe application that build that you do, it could be Golang, it could be C or whatever the programming language they have. Based on the programming language, these are the different environment that you execute. But for particular to the ML that model, say AI machine learning model that you built, they need a very high capacity graphical, like the GPU environment. Okay, so from the beginning itself, the environment getting a bit different. Okay, sometimes it's not that simple forward just run on any the container, because um, container it has to be very tight integration with the GPU usage. Okay, so you need to run all those models training in a GPU integrated environment. It could be any cloud environment. Okay, based on the requirement and based on your budget and credits and everything. But my point of view is that if you are working you're coming to work as a MLOps engineer, now you see the requirement why I said that you need to have a very like prerequisite of the DevOps engineer, because as a DevOps engineer you already work with version control, CI/CD tools, containerization, for example Docker and Kubernetes, right? So all those knowledge will come into play here and will make your life a bit easier. Okay, it's just that for every single programming application, you have been running different commands to build, to run test, right? For ML models also, accordingly, it will be different set of commands and different way of execution things. Okay, but still the basics things are here. Here also you're building something which is model. Here also you're collecting the performance, like how much time it take to build the models, how what is the if you're doing any integration testing or any kind of testing. Here also there will be different tools to measure the performance of models that will be collecting and generating report. Kind of same, isn't it? So all these things you'll be doing. That's why I say if you already have DevOps knowledge, you will be added advantage. Okay, but again, don't worry. In when I go through like when I go through all the tools and technologies, all the concept and everything, I will show from the very basics. I will just assume that you don't know anything. Okay, from that point of view, I will make the demos. Okay. Oh, one question that has Sandeep want to join the Digital Learner Support membership. I feel that it's okay if I can discuss on. Sure, sure. Rajesh, if you have any question, feel free to ask. I also very forgot. I mean, long time I didn't did that, like, even check that membership things. So yeah, please go ahead. Okay. Then see, there is there now very important thing that as a MLOps engineer, do we really need to know about data engineering? And yes, as I say from the very beginning, right? You'll be working with what? Data. You will have billions of set of data. You have to process the data, to train the ML models and all that. So yes, it could be data. It could be databases where you have all the data. Could be PostgreSQL, MySQL database. Could be DynamoDB, MongoDB, Cassandra, any DB. Okay. You might ask me one thing that Sandeep, do we need to learn all the database? The answer is no. You don't need to learn all the databases. Okay, it's based on the requirement. And see, most of the cases, you can export the data set as a, like, say, common JSON or CSV or any other, or maybe a binary data kind of thing, and then you can, or maybe zip also, and then you can decompress it and then process it. There are many ways that we call the ETL, but it'll come later on. But think of that, you can convert all the data to a common, it could be in any database, and now these days get to work with database so easy. Okay, based on, with the help of this AML, this chat GPT kind of tools, you can, even if you don't know about any particular database, you want to generate a script, you can just give the prompt and it can give you the exact script, how to collect the data, how to store the data and all that, or how to transform the data from database into CSV or JSON. Okay, I'm not going too much into that, but you can easily convert from a normal data store point of view to any common data set. For example, JSON, CSV. Okay, this is very common JSON data. Even for example, XML data. XML I find bit complicated to work with, but some places they expect it to have a JSON XML data. Okay, and then based on the situation and the scenarios. Okay, sometime we'll be working with the web scraping. For example, all this, for example, I will give you the Chat GPT example itself. Chat GPT, that search thing. For example, how Google did. Google had bought it. The bot goes to all the sites and then do collect the data in a petabyte scale, and they're working a search engine. Now Chat GPT jumping to that, right? Chat GPT also doing similar thing. So as a ML model, you have to see that it can. I mean, before it had this searching capability, it already, I think maybe it showed you, okay, we have the data record until 2024 or 23, right? Because they scrap the data from the web and they store it. Okay, so that also you have to do, you have to collect as a form of process, right? Then what are the other data storage examples? SQL. Think about that. Even the data you're storing, I mean, you're exporting or you're collecting, that is not the final data. You have to process that in a multiple forms. Okay, that you can achieve via the ETL process. Okay, and what are the ETL pipelines that's commonly getting used? For example, Apache Web Airflow or AWS Glue. Data cleaning and processing for the Panda, NumPy, you can utilize for the data. Again, I'm just giving a very few tool example. When I make different demos, it might be, not just might be, it will be industry standard. Okay, so don't worry, I just give you some example, but it will be something different when, or maybe same or different when I make the demos. Okay, then what? Then come to the main thing, which is called model building. Before model building, let me see if there is any LinkedIn comments, because people complain that I don't see the LinkedIn comments. So let me check that part. I don't want to leave anyone. Okay. Oh, the LinkedIn, there's many comments. Okay. Oh, from Pune, Mumbai, Noida. What? Okay. What if you know the concept but no experience? See, there'll be problem if you know the concepts but no experience. Then you'll feel the anxiety. Okay, that I might not be able to do it. I cannot do it. That happens at the beginning phase because at the beginning you don't know. Okay, when you started, for example, DevOps engineer or system engineer, whatever it is, you didn't know anything, right? Similarly, when you start the MLOps engineer, learning part, you don't know anything. But if when you keep learning, keep doing the hands-on, they were kind of hands-on implementations, learn from your mistakes. That is when you learn the actual stuff. So don't worry. This is a part of process. Everybody go through the same. So don't overthink or overcomplicate. Okay. Let's see any other question. I don't think glad to be part of this call. And then okay, that is there from Gurgaon. Okay, so as we move forward, if you have any question, feel free to let me know. Okay, I'm checking the comments. I'm checking the messages also. Anything is fine. I'll be responding to that. Okay, so don't worry. I'm all yours today. Okay, so let's next come to this fourth part. What is like we have to learn about the basics, the concept and everything. Otherwise, you cannot come to this phase at all. We have to know about the different like concepts of basic ML concept. We have to know about different algorithms, how to build those kind of things. I mean, the different data processing mechanism and all that. Now, and as a MLOps engineer, to understand how the CI/CD flow works, and how to have that flow in ready data processing, data engineering, right? Then come to the fourth step, which is what the model development. Okay. I think one question from Midul. When the course begin, it's starting from 15th January, and it's absolutely free. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, now why? Watch. By the way, just before going forward, why I did it's on instead of first Jan 15, because there is 2 3 video pending, and for the that Go series, I want to finish that up, and then move forward. That is the reason I starting from the 15 Jan. Okay, okay. Next, come to the current discussion. Now, as a model development, you will be learning about model training, and for model training, there are many tools available. Okay, for example, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Skitlearn. Okay, and for model validation, there is MLflow, and again, by the way, I will be showing every single demo project for all that. Okay, so don't worry at all. I'm all set. So we'll have all the examples. Okay, then we'll be doing the weight and biases are one thing, because you see that most of the ML models that we build, that prone to either maybe the we have to see that the success percentage or say the performance percentage. Most cases, if it's above 70%, we call it very good model. Okay, below that we call it not so good. And for biases, yes, models are very tend to biases. That's why even see every places you see that disclaimer, it might not give you the good result even after having this much of development. We have the GPT model 5 with us, right? Still people are saying it's not that accurate yet. So even though we achieve a very good level of accuracy, maybe even if it's 98%, I'm saying there could be a still chance of biases. So we as a part of the validation process, we have to measure that part. Okay, and then is the hyper tuning, because as I say, you have to keep optimizing things and keep improving things, right? And there is different thing: gate search, random search, Bayesian optimizer tool like Optuna, Hyper, and there is many other things. I'll be coming when I discuss the dedicated section. We'll be covering everything. Okay, so don't worry on that part. So this is the model development part, and part of our ML learning will be also learning about how to develop model and how to do the CI/CD for the model from the scratch when you committing the code to deployment. We'll cover entire thing. Okay. Now, model deployment, like ML engineers, usually their responsibility is to develop the model and keep optimizing it, make it more smarter and smarter. But as a MLOps engineer, your responsibility will be also to deploy, not just helping build the model, is to deploy the model successfully. Okay, and how you can deploy it? It can be, I guess, given different APIs where you can using you can serve the models. But this is just example. It can be anything and absolutely anything. Okay, it can be Flask API, it can be any programming language. Based on that, you can the model, it should use the model to first it will accept the request, it will pass the data to model, and model will predict it or give the result. Okay, and then APIs will serve that. That is all this programming language, the backend APIs will do. Okay, then model serving platforms, for example, these are the API based serving. Then that can be the different like dedicated serving platform. For example, TensorFlow serving, for example, Torch serve, Seldon, MLflow, like MLflow also there is support that. Okay. Oh, okay. One question that is from Siddharth. Will you cover? Yes, yes. I mean, that I should be covering, right? So that feature store and model retraining, I'll be also covering that as well as the part of this entire thing. Okay. Okay. Now, as part of this model deployment, we will be not just helping server survive the different APIs or programming languages, or from different platform, monolithic platform, which is the more managed platform. We also have to do containerizing or dockerizing, or you know Dockerizing should not be equal to containerizing, because there are many other tools available for containerization. So when you containerize this kind of models, or maybe along with the API and the model combined, so that you can run those application. I'm calling it ML application. Those ML application, which parts the programming language, their respective binaries, dependencies, most cases the HTTP dependencies or whatever the other dependencies are, and the ML model combine in a container. You encapsulate that and you host that in as in maybe Kubernetes, or it could be others, like it could be ECS, it could be anywhere based on wherever your target it is. But you should be containerizing that, and you should be kind of distribute that to wherever you want to run it. Okay, like in simple language, in container orchestration, you have to run that. Okay, now there are like these different tools like Helm charts, customize, and I go. See, these are just simple tools to make our life easier. For example, Helm chart, you can help us to kind of make it more formatted, more template, kind of template oriented, which will be helping us that way. Customize also similar to Helm, but a bit different. It just extend the different configuration. It's all Kubernetes related, okay? Because even AI, for example, even this what do you call it, OpenAI, you might have heard about their that outage. Okay, why that happened? That outage happened due to there's some problem or misconfiguration in their Kubernetes, right? So where they are hosting their models or running it in a Kubernetes. Yeah. So they are also running their solution in Kubernetes, right? So and they might be, not as might be, they will be also using this Helm charts, customize, Argo CD and whatnot. Maybe, I mean, I don't know the exact their architecture. Might, maybe later I should check also if they have the open blog. I should be checking that how they have running it if they share. Okay, but in general, since they're running their solution, their models, their application, for example, Chat GPT inside Kubernetes, that in I think their blog they shared that they have some problem in the Kubernetes. That's why they face the issues. Okay, so that clear one thing that they are also hosting in Kubernetes. Okay, now that is there. Now we should be learning. Next, we'll be learning about the monitoring and maintenance of the model. Okay, so in monitoring and maintenance, we'll be of course doing the performance metrics, then drift detection. Will be of course logging, because if any problem happened, we need to know why the root cause, and root cause and should be there, right? So that also we have to do. And while there is different tool available for logging and alerting, Prometheus, Grafana, and ELK stack is the most common. Okay, now there are other also that is coming up. For example, Fluentd, most of the logging thing. Now there is a what is that? Loki also there. So there are many other tools also available, and I'll be covering every single tool. So don't worry on that part as well. Okay, cool part, the scaling. Now, see, for the automated pipeline, like for the CI/CD for the ML, Jenkins, GitHub Action. So GitHub Action and GitLab CI/CD are all scalable. Jenkins also if you do the dynamic scaling using different cloud provider, you can scale it much more, so that's not a problem. Automatic retraining, I think that Siddharth was asking, that also will be covering as part of our this entire this MLOps series. Okay, we'll be covering the AWS SageMaker, we'll be covering Google AI platform, we'll be covering the Azure also. Okay, and for distributed training, we'll be doing the Harvard. Then there is Kubernetes, Dask, and this is just three sample, but it will be a lot more. Okay, so don't worry on that part as well. Okay, governance. Okay, governance and compliance. I will have a friend. Okay, I will I have asked him once, and he agreed, and he's more well versed on this governance compliance part. So I'll ask him to come into my channel and give you all the knowledge. I'll be there, but he will be doing that. Okay. Um. Okay, and yeah, Qflow. I think okay. Most like last 1 year, believe it or not, I've been working day and night in the Qflow. And Qflow is basically whatever you can think of to train a model, to deploy a model, to optimize things, to like measure the performance. Every single tool chain is there. And it made my life a lot easier. Of course, at the beginning, I also had to face hell. But as I say, the very beginning, if you keep doing it, it will become simpler. Okay. And there is okay, one thing I was never used to was the Jupyter notebook, which most of the ML if engineer or data engineer, if you see, they have this always running thing. Okay, but I was not at the beginning too much used to it, so I find it a bit difficult for my working lifestyle. But again, I just keep opening on another laptop. I keep experimenting there, so I get used to it. Not too much, but still got somehow used to it. Okay, TensorFlow, extended TFX, it's good. Cative and Q4 Plywood. Qflow just to discuss, right? It's a Q. What is a Q? I mean, I think I should have given you the definition. So Qflow is an open source machine learning ML machine learning and ML toolkit designed to make deploying ML workflows in Kubernetes simple, portable. Okay. And anyway, I'll be giving a very deep dive. I think the content that I made for the Kubeflow, that is, I think around 2 hour. Okay, so have patience, and like when I release that one, have patience. Okay, learning, because you will be spending a lot of time as a MLOps engineer in the Kubeflow. That's why you should be that you should have patience on that. One question came from Siddharth, that what configuration in your laptop. Now for me it was easier. Okay, I have this okay, let me just check. Okay, I have the MacBook that is I think, what is that, it was maxed out MacBook, 64 GB memory, more, I think it is the 64, so much of that. Okay, let me just quickly check. I had, okay, 8 terabyte of storage, but storage you'll need, but most it will need the graphics. So I had the M1 Max, so more CPU and graphic. I will say Apple will be too costly for me. It costs so many lakhs rupees, so I will not suggest that. But they in the market, there are for example Asus laptops or whatever laptops that is cheaper, at least 6-7 GB of, I mean, I'm saying minimum. Okay, and with the NVIDIA dedicated NVIDIA graphics card will be better. Now, exact requirement for the local training and all that, I will share in my first video itself. Okay, it will be around the prerequisites and the very basic concepts, right? So that time itself, I will give the entire definition. So that is there. How is the mark? Okay, the thing is that if you see, when when around 5-6 years back when I started, it was all about DevOps engineer opportunities. But now it's like the application that were developed, it was all around the backend application and all that. AI application companies are there, but not that much. Now, if you see, most of the companies eager to become an AI company, AI first company, right? And with that rise, instead of, see, the opportunities will stay kind of DevOps, but it will tend forward the MLOps. So they will be hiring, instead of hiring a DevOps engineer dedicatedly, they will be hiring a MLOps engineer. So if you see a company hiring, could be AI company, could be non-AI company, maybe like a company that is willing to become a AI company, which want to run models, or it could be their model, it could be the other models from other places, but they will be hiring people first for the MLOps engineer. AIOps is a bit different, more of the logging part, prediction issues, and all that. I will come to that later on. Is this entire series going to be MLOps? But when I complete the MLOps, you'll see that AIOps is like a piece of cake, as I say in the post also. Okay, so as I say that the new DevOps going to be MLOps. So if you are just a DevOps engineer, the very in the market, current market dynamics, you will have very difficulties. Okay, now the thing is that if you have some idea, knowledge, experience, how to like of course as a MLOps engineer, you need to be a good DevOps engineer, and additionally you need to have the ML knowledge, right? So that is where they'll be seeking the requirement. So if you're just DevOps and you don't have any idea of ML and anything or MLOps, they might not hire you. Instead, who have the knowledge, idea, and some bit of experience, they might hire them, because the market is developing like that. Even Satya Nadella, what he said? He said SaaS is dead. If you not seen the video, I will definitely suggest you go to YouTube or LinkedIn and watch the video. And which is true. Which I'm checking the different requirements that's getting changed. It's how the users getting interacting with the their application. Previously it was the UI and all that, but it's now more of a agentic. You go, maybe just write things, do this, or maybe say speak, do this, and they're doing it, right? So in that perspective, it's the growth going towards more of the AI based companies or AI related products, right? Wherever is the demand, like this is the market, right? Wherever is the demand, you should, and where is the supply is less, you should go there to make more money. That's how I was. If you see my career, it's all about the keep changing of the titles and the positions. I was starting as a Photoshop engineer. I think at the very beginning, Photoshop, some UI things, then PHP, then JavaScript, then Python, then Go, and then cloud, DevOps, and now MLOps field also I put into, because I see wherever is the demand is high, but the resources or supply is less, there is the mind to make money. Okay, so I will suggest the same thing. If you compare, if you're a DevOps engineer, okay, and if somebody is the MLOps engineer, who do you think is will get paid more? Of course the MLOps engineer in the current market dynamics, right? So that is something you should target, because MLOps engineer is what, ML plus DevOps engineer requirement, right? Okay, let's see the question. How is the market? I think that is how I think I answered the market dynamics from, for it was from the Sharath. Okay, from Rahul, how to first have to learn first AIOps, then MLOps directly. I mean, I will say don't even look at the AIOps now. Okay, AIOps more towards the log collection, and then model should be always there and predicting based on the different logs and then what is the problem. Like Amazon Q would be a very good example, that it's check the logs, check the I mean, this is a very broader thing, but if you just think about the logs perspective, it's check the logs, check the different operations things, any problem happening, it predict, okay, there could be issue the from say system, this instance boot memory issue, or maybe for example storage issue, those kind of stuff. Okay, maybe programming happening, root cause it found, that line issue, those kind of thing. But MLOps is a bit different. It's more of the machine learning AI, that is the that is for operations. Okay, AI for operations. Okay, that is for the log, from the log predicting what could be the root cause and all that. So that is different. So I will suggest first learn about the MLOps and then learn about the AIOps. That will be the right way. Okay. Okay, one thing is that, bro, could you please post this series once a week if possible? It's like I am wholeheartedly trying for that one. Okay, last year, if you see the series, what happened, that I was doing the videos just going fine. Then two projects come together. I was working on two projects, then two other projects came. So while I was doing four projects, I was like, when I'm waking up, when I'm sleeping, when I'm going out, I had no clue. So that time it was, I couldn't make any more videos or even record a video, not getting enough time to edit, and then add the traveling and all the other things. But this time I'm very serious on making this series, and serious also about finishing the backlogs also where I was the pending videos to release that. So I can assure you it's gonna happen, and I'm going to make this series a success. So you should look forward to that. Okay. Okay, what is the? I think it's from Vinay. What is the difference between AIOps and MLOps? See, MLOps is about the machine learning. Okay, I think showing is the better than just explaining. Okay. Okay, answers feature store like faced. Sure, I mean I'll be covering that one, Siddharth. So don't worry. And maybe if you want, I can write a separate dedicated post and make a video on that. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, the difference between the MLOps and AIOps. Let's go. Come to the my this thing. Okay. Now let's look how the MLOps look like. Okay. One good question came. I will answer that. Okay. Shart. That's on the GNI part. But before jumping into GNI, I think this is important. I'll come to that. Okay. After this question I answer, that is the difference between these two. Then I will come to that. Okay. I don't know, is it way to pin or not? Okay. No pin. Anyway, for MLOps, you see, for example, it's about the different model that we built. Okay. For example, these are the models. Okay. So models. Oh, this is not it. Model. Okay. So what this model that it predicts? What it predict? For example, you have a data. You're training. Okay. Training this models. Okay. Training this model. Okay. And then for us in a CI/CD, we use say any code is happening. We're putting the data in the CI/CD pipeline, and we are training this model. Okay, training, and then we are measuring performance. We are doing the testing. We are deploying. Okay, we are deploying. We're doing all that. But in AIOps, what you're doing in the AIOps, it's a bit different. It's we will have the pre-built model. We have the model, for example. Okay, it's AIOps for operations. Okay, I mean AIOps stand for the AI for operations. So we have the AIOps tools ready and we have the models ready. We have logs. Okay, we have, for example, logs. We have logs. So we use this AI models. Okay, to go through maybe millions, billions of records of logs, and then find out the root cause, or maybe whatever the issue, or helping the find the issue. This is the basic or core usage I have seen for the AIOps. There could be more. Okay, it's just make the operations to free up using this AI tool. There, it make their life easier. That what I found like for the AIOps part. Again, it involved a little bit more, but when I come to the AIOps series, it will become a lot more clear. So wait till that. Okay. One question that came from Sharath: how about LLM ops? I think this is a very good question. Okay, basically deployment, GenAI deployment. Now, as a MLOps engineer, you will be doing what? Doing giving the infra for to deploy the models. It could be GenAI model. It could be large language model. You don't know. I mean, it can be any challenge that comes thrown to you. As a MLOps engineer, you do have to perform the task. You might not know it. You have to learn it somehow and then do the task, right? So when I'm saying model, it could be simple model. It could be a medium trained or some level of pre-trained model, or it could be a large language model. It could be anything, absolutely anything. The CI/CD process going to be different, and it's all depend on the company data, the company tool set, the resources that you have. For example, I've seen a very epic case where I don't know if I should disclose or not, but these guys are doing what? They have their own model and they're kind of training using the llama, then hugging face, then there's OpenAI, and I think OpenAI restriction also that you cannot use their models to, I mean, their APIs to do that, but no company listen to that honestly. But I have seen them use all other third party APIs to train their own model. So there's going to be the challenges of another level, and you have to perform on this requirement. That's why they will be paying you high, right? So expect this kind of thing to happen. As a MLOps engineer, you'll be just not handling the simple model or a bit of trained model. You have to also handle the large language models. Okay, let's see any other questions from. Okay. Okay, so it's from Devashish. I was talking with Devashish on messaging today. So Devashish is saying that Dada, I'm having around 11 years of experience, worked as SRE now in a career break. Can I jump to MLOps? Yes, you are a SRE, right? You have a DevOps experience already. So you can easily jump onto this MLOps thing. This is your opportunity, I will say. Because what happening, for example, I'll give you one example, okay? When I was PHP engineer, I was happy. I was getting good paid. Even though experience was less, but I was getting good paid. But I saw trend getting changed. Lot of PHP engineers were getting into market. And when I was trying to change my job, the salary like peanuts. And that same time, when I saw that, okay, JavaScript engineers, Node.js engineers, salary like huge to me. Like 3 into or 4 into salary gap of a normal PHP engineer, even senior, to a mid-level or senior of a JavaScript. Then I thought, let's learn about JavaScript and become a JavaScript, and that worked. I think I got around 10x of my salary increase. Just so much, I will say. It's not just joke. Okay, I got so much of salary increase just from jumping from PHP to JavaScript. So think about the same happening in the DevOps area. You're a DevOps engineer, but it's getting saturated. It's bound to happen. Okay, there will be so many DevOps engineers in the market. Then, of course, the demand of this is a simple market. It's market demand and supply. The demand will be maybe less or same, but the supply is higher. The amount will be lower, right? But in the market right now, there is, everybody knows, okay, everybody knows that like these are all going to be that not that much MLOps engineering available. Okay, so yeah, that is one thing you have to understand. Okay, let's see how many videos in there. Okay, I have not counted. I think it's going to be more than 20 to 30. It's going to be more than 20 to 30 videos. Okay, I have started. I have, I think, around 5 video shoot, editing in progress from the basics to kind of. I'm still, I think, all are basics now. But there's going to be more than 20 30 videos that I can estimate from now. Okay, I'm planning week at least once, because that the consistency I have to keep. I do also have a plan to different other, like while making this series, I want to make some videos on, say, different DevOps tools, technology, and all that. So that also I have to do. So at least 2 3 video I have to keep in mind. Okay. Oh, let's come to the LinkedIn question. Otherwise, people will say you are only answering to the YouTube. Okay, let me remove that. Okay, so hi Sandeep. Is there going to be a hands-on session during? Yes, it's okay. One thing that I want to clear from the very beginning, that this series, for this particular series, is going to be, I think, around 80 to 90% hands-on. There will be little or even theory is a form of I will explain things more of a screen. Okay, it's very little theory. I can say that. Okay, it's all practical. Is going to be. Uh, it's Mahadi Ben. Okay. So do companies hire MLOps freshers or do they go senior ones? Unfortunately, it's unwritten rule. But what I have seen from my experience, that it's all senior roles. So it's how it works. you have 2 year or 3 year experience on the DevOps field. You learn and work. So you learn, become a say mid-level MLOps engineer, or say just MLOps engineer, for example. So there is a minimum I have seen. That's my personal experience, my personal opinion. Not think as a industry standard, but what I have seen, at least 2 to 3 experience as a DevOps engineer will help you get a land job, or say SRE engineer, SRE or platform. So anything related to DevOps. DevOps is a vast field, right? And there is a sub fields that are the say DevOps engineer, SRE, then the say infrastructure engineer, then could be system admins. Okay, so these are the different sub branches from the DevOps, I will say. Now they expect you to have 2 to 3 minimum year of experience in DevOps or SRE, or platform engineering or infra, whatever it is. And then they expect you to at least have a better good understanding for 3 4 or 5 months, or maybe 6 months, say, to be safe, in ML basics and model building, CI/CD, about the ML models and all that. So that after that they will be willing to, or they'll be interested to hire you. Because if you're just a DevOps engineer and if you have no idea of ML models and all that, the issue is that uh, I think they will be kind of um, hesitant, because then they have to train you and they don't know that you might leave the company if it's overwhelming for you. That's a risk of gambling for them, right? And that's a huge cost. That's why they don't usually want that. Okay, so that is one thing you have to be aware, that if you are a already a DevOps engineer or a SRE engineer, minimum 2 3 x, I'm saying minimum. If you have 11 10 experience, say SRE, for example, what they were saying, or for example uh, others, that's okay. For fresher, I will not say it's MLOps still not for freshers. Even many will also agree that DevOps itself also not fresher. There are opportunities, that's hard. If you already have very good experience, all fine, but usual cases is very hard. You can become, but the chances are 1 in 1,000 chances, I'll say. So the meaning is that it's tough if you're thinking as a fresher to become a MLOps engineer. But if you already have some experience, 2 3, at least minimum 2 3 experience, DevOps, SRE, system admin, you will be all good. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, I'm not getting calls for DevOps engineering experience 2.8. Okay, it's a little bit different from Devendra. As I say, I was talking, right, that if in the market that let me, yeah. Okay, so if in the market too many DevOps engineers, this is what happens. Okay, so you're not getting calls, right? So I will say, don't just wait for the calls. Have your strategy ready. If you want, I can just have another session, or say a recording on how to target different opportunities and how to land the jobs. Okay, I did something for last few years. I think I did every year. I do 2 or 3 kind of this kind of session, but it's all about strategy to target different jobs based on your skill level and experience level. And from your experience, even if it's 1 or 2 year extra they're expecting, that also fine. You can target, if it like most cases, if you can prove them or show them your track record or something that you have achieved, you will get it. Even if you not, they might consider you for interview, and there you can prove it. Okay, so that is about more about targeting different application jobs and landing that. Okay, and the percentage will be, if you try for 100, you might get 1 to 10, between 1 to 10 opportunities interview will get. And if you give 1 to 10 interview, then you can just get 1 or 2 final call minimum, I will say. Okay, will be posting the slides? Yes, Vishal, I'll be posting the slides, don't worry. Okay, any other question? Okay, it's from Nikhil Jain. I've been following for quite some time. I'm currently working as a DevOps in you 1.5 experience. What suggestion do you have for excelling? See, you have 1.5 year experience, right? So what you should do, that for next 6 or 7 months, you will learn about this, like whatever the series I'm doing, or maybe from other people's series, whatever. Like knowledge is free from me, from any other people. Just grab it. Okay, if it's required, you can do paid courses. That is all fine. Okay, from the Udemy or anywhere. Your goal should be learning as soon as possible in the current market, because it's an evolving market. If you learn fast, that's better for you. And then try for different opportunities. So your experience will become 2 year, right? So 2 year as a DevOps engineer and 6 months as a learn. So you are learning for 6 months, right? So combine, it will be kind of for 2 years. But since that you already know about DevOps tools and technologies and the ML things and MLOps things, you will have a higher chance because the cost of hiring will be less, and if you can prove them that you have all the knowledge required, you'll get hired. Okay, so that is all about this. But you have to have enough demo projects ready. You have to have enough proof ready to show that you have what is required to become a MLOps engineer. Okay, my okay. Let you not like that. My organization is offering me to come into service now. See, if now service now is a separate thing. Okay, I have seen few of people that I know that they went to the service now and they regret it because they kind of lost, like they wanted to become DevOps engineer but they didn't have the enough tools, experience in different tool set, different methodologies or different other ideas that made their life hard. So I will not suggest it. But if you are ultimately not getting enough opportunities, you need something to sustain, right? So the sustaining part you can join. But if you have any better opportunity as a DevOps engineer, you should go there. Let's see any other things. I will definitely answer. Oh, basic knowledge of Python is enough. Yes, yes. Basic. I'll say yeah. Basic. Mainly the looping part. Then the keywords of Python. Then how to work with the JSON. That part and and additional will be like the. It's an additional thing. Okay, if you know how to work with say databases, like say databases and API development part using Flask or Django, that will be added benefit. Okay, because rest of the other things, for example, how to use PyTorch, how to scale it, or other things, I will teach. So don't worry. But having the basic, as I say, the knowledge that I just explained now will be good. Good to get started. It will help you in learning other things. Okay. Let's see. Hi Sandeep. Okay, there will be hands-on. What are the things? This might not okay. One question from Devashi that it might be not relevant. To how which ways I should try to reach you? I'm getting offer for remote work, but not aware. I think we talked Devashis. If you want, you can use TopMate. That will be more of the professional way I can suggest you. Even I was actually planning that I should kind of create a separate dedicated guidance program for how to become freelancer, how to do negotiation, how to get clients and all that. But that is not immediately. I have my hands full in projects and all other responsibilities. Even I'm traveling to Hyderabad also this 18th from 17th January till 26th. So I'll be all busy there. So what will suggest that go to my top mate and book a one session, and then we can dedicatedly talk about that. That will be better. Okay. Okay. What are the things? Okay, I gave up to 4 round and ghosted. Yes, that's very common by the way. So what I will see, even I had one student. Okay, he's now making more than 1 CR package, I think. So what that student was facing, that he has good experience. I think 5 or 6 year experience, and he was like trying for US opportunities, and he was failing in most. I think he failed in the 8 or 10th, and he was like broke up. Okay, it's like Sandeep, hi, I'm not Sandeep, I cannot do that anymore. Okay. And then I given all the knowledge and experience required to crack the jobs. He cracked the 1 CR plus job, I remember. Okay, so it's okay. Basic hint, okay? I will not go to too much deep. It will be unrelated. But every single interview, you're not just giving interview yourself. You analyze your interviewer. How there's a pattern, okay? That pattern, if you can crack, and the fear that you have after 5, 10 interviews, it all gone away. Okay, at the very beginning, 4, 6, you have fear, but if you keep giving it, it will go away. So that pattern, if you can crack, and the questionnaire and the way you approach, you have to change based on different failures. Okay, that is the important part. That analysis I do when I talk with different students and all that. So try more. If you ultimately can't, then reach out. Okay, I have different ways how to crack different opportunities, even in a bigger level. Okay, let's see, and which works. Okay, let's see. Any other question? Nope. And oh, how long it takes to become MLOps engineer, from Amit Sharma. So Amit, as a prerequisite, say you should have 2 to 3 years of. My daughter is becoming impatient. She want to meet me. So let's wrap it quickly. Okay, so how long it takes to become MLOps engineer? At least 2 3 year experience of either DevOps engineer, or for example, that's a prerequisite. Okay, or SRE or similar kind of platform engineer things, roles. And to become MLOps engineer, for the training part, I will say at least 4 to 6 months. Okay, based on your personal capability of learning. But what I have found out from my own analysis, at least you need 4 months to 6 months to become a MLOps engineer from a DevOps engineer background. Okay, so that should be your perspective from DevOps background or platform engineering or SRE background to become. So that's the thing. Bring her call. Okay. Someone says bring her call. Let me. Okay, down now. Oh, Ashok. Go there, baby. Hi, hi. Come here, come here. Okay, my daughter also coming. Come here, baby. Okay. It's okay. See, bring her to in the call. So yes, it's the question and answers. I think she's fine. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Well, how are you doing?
What am I doing?
Are you all doing good?
What is doing good?
Okay, so that's it for I think today.
It's
And
white.
it's white, yes.
And what's pink?
Yeah, sorry for the accent. People think maybe I'm just faking
What's
accent,
the
but maybe
X-ray?
I'm not a English native, right? So I might really
It's
actually. Okay.
X-ray.
Oh, what is okay? One good question.
Look at that.
Hmm?
It's X-ray.
Yes, Excel. One good question came up from Shobha. What is a package? So for MLOps engineer, if you have
It's
5 year
a
experience,
salad.
yes, be quiet, baby. So for MLOps engineer, the minimum package is starting from 30L for 4 to 5. Okay, and it can go to 1 CR, 2 CR based on your. See, it based on two things. First is the experience, and second the location. If you're trying for say US based companies and all that, then it will be far higher, even for the remote opportunities. But if you're thinking about from say India normal companies, they will offer more than 30L, 40L, 50L, this kind,
Dad,
based on your.
what is that? Ami.
Don't do that. Yeah, thanks. जाओ तुम चले जाओ बेबी. Go, let's go. Bye করে দাও সবাইকে.
Bye.
Or see you soon.
See you. Bye. See you.
যাও. পাপা কাজ করছে.
It's a salad.
Yes, Anand.
Okay, চলে আসো সানা।
I think that's our answer. There. Okay, I think yeah, it's my daughter getting very impatient. So yes, I'll be ending that today, and from 15th of January, I'll be start releasing the videos. It'll be starting from very busy. I assume that you don't know anything about the machine learning, okay? But I expect you to have some knowledge or idea on the DevOps, okay? Um, even like when I show the things how to get things done in the DevOps different things, I will show from the very basics as detailed as possible. But I'm I'm assuming you have DevOps knowledge. Okay, it will make my life also easier and your life easier. Okay, otherwise you might think when I'm saying something technical jargon kind of sound, right? So that I don't want. So DevOps, I have 6 year evidence. Can I MLOps? We can go for 2 years. DevOps, I have okay. Can we go for 2 years? I okay. CS plus MLOps. Can we go for? So if you are a DevOps engineer, 6 year plus is good. MLOps engineer you can become within 6 to 7 months. Okay, that is maximum. See, it's just at the beginning, it's just the basic tools, basic ML knowledge, model building, and then the deploying and performance measuring part. That's what I've seen so far. Okay, Just like as a DevOps engineer, you are 6 years plus, still you're learning things. You will be learning things as well in the MLOps as a MLOps engineer. But you can crack jobs after 6 7 months of learning or training. Okay, that what I've realized so far. How many months? All videos. It's going to be a few months. Okay, it's at least 4 5 months because so many videos are there. Okay, that's why, as I said, 4 to 6 months, right? And the video, the training plan will be according to that. Okay, so it's going to be for 6 months. Okay, it's not like you can just just upload a substandard quality and do all that. One thing that many people complain also, that don't just I also don't like, to be honest, just um, you know uh, give the slide, because slide I can just give you. Why to read it on the in the screen, right? So that is one of the reason that I also don't like to do. But sometimes I speak too fast, which I improve, I think, quite an improvement. I don't want to speak too much faster. That's why I sometimes use the slide to keep the space. But this time my approach will be a bit different. It will be direct, say more of the demos, that like not just showing you regression, showing you graphically and technically, programmatically also how is it happening. So that practicality I want to bring. Okay, less theory, more practical. Wherever theory is like absolutely necessary, then only I will bring that. Okay, and maybe I will bring my friends also who are working in the ML field and all that, to bring their idea, bring their experience and all that. So yeah, that will be added benefit. Yeah, welcome, Shobha. Okay, so yes, 4 to 5 months, 4 to 6 months minimum you expect this entire series to complete. Minimum weekly 1 or 2 video I'm expecting. I'm not just expecting, I will just do that way. Okay, so that will be there. And as I go forward, any suggestion, feedback, please feel free to just give me, as you do always. Okay. So what I will do in between, from his stories, what 4 Jan and between 15 Jan, I have 3 videos releases. I think most on the Go series that I have been doing, 3 videos pending for a long time. That 3 video I will release between this 2 week. Okay, so look forward to that. If you have previously followed that Go series, it will be good one. Okay, so thank you everyone for staying this long, listening to me, asking the question, giving the feedback and everything. The journey of becoming an MLOps engineer is just started, and you'll be learning in simple way. Okay, that's my tagline: learn simple way. Just like how I learn complex. I from when I learn complex things, and this way, that way, and I simplify things for you so you can learn faster. The mistake I did, you don't have to repeat, right? So look forward to that. And any question that you might have, please feel free to reach out via LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn is the place that I'm most active. Twitter also I'm trying to be, but I'm not getting interest there, unfortunately. Okay, so see you soon in my next video. Bye bye.